My test. Good evening, gladiators and suits. See, I told you I was going to be online, trying to fulfill my promise here. How is everyone doing? It's been a rainy day, so I hope you're staying dry and I hope you're not caught up in post rush hour traffic because I'm looking at my window. Lots of cars are still out there, lots of red lights. So, welcome. Tonight's going to be a very interesting discussion. A lot of you have been asking about this. I've made my research as well, so I think I'm prepared. Lots of information. Our topic for tonight is something that I think a lot of you have opinions about, and that is what if we make weekend work and after office work illegal? So there are going to be a lot of disclaimers here. When I say it's illegal, I'm referring to if in your contract it states that your work is only from Monday to Friday and that your work is stipulated, let's say, for example, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., does it make it illegal if your boss contacts you, let's say he contacts you at 9 p.m. or on a Saturday morning and asks you to submit a report or asks you to report to the office for a certain concern? Should we make that illegal? And by the way, this is not something that is uh, absurd, that's only going to be happening for the first time because a lot of European countries have already made it into law. So we're going to be studying how that has been effective for them. And let's contextualize it that if we do it, let's say in Asia, or if let's say we do it in the Philippines, is it going to work? And will that favor the employer, the employee? Would it be a win-win or a lose-to-lose situation? May I please request for an exclamation mark if you guys are ready and happy with our topic for tonight? Again, I'm going to make a disclaimer. There are going to be a lot of exemptions to the rule. If your line of work requires you, let's say, for example, you're a doctor, obviously you need to be contacted after working hours. Okay? If, let's say, you're, I don't know, marketing or sales, wherein certain sales have to be made even after working hours, or that working hours are loose, please do not raise them in this conversation because your efforts of typing them in the chat box are going to be wasted. Obviously, it's not gonna be part of the conversation. Okay? Huwag niyo akong pilosopuhin ha. Huwag kayong mag-comment that is out of topic or out of scope. Okay? If you're just jumping into the conversation, could you please give us a like, give us a heart? We would appreciate that, please. So again, our topic for tonight is, should we make weekend work and after office work illegal? Should we criminalize it? And later, I'll share with you some examples of how certain countries were able to do that. In fact, this is not something that's new. Some countries have done it even before the pandemic. Okay? So I'm going to do a quick attendance check first. Jovel says good day. Lauren from LinkedIn also says good day. Emel Dinand says good evening. Looking at the chat box, Joel Reyes says, the learn how to disconnect. Dennis says, kamusta po anak nyo? Nako, I don't have a kid yet. I do have 2 dogs, however. Meron ba akong anak? Baka mamaya meron akong anak na hindi ko pa alam. No, obviously I don't have. What else? J Choi says, good evening. Joy Sir Lucero says, in France, they do. Agree. We'll talk about that later on. Most Southern European countries and Northern European countries have put this into place. In fact, there's even a potential European Union ruling for this. Also, I'm not going to expect that this is going to happen in the United States because the United States is the perpetrator of pushing people to go beyond working hours. In fact, in the United States, I've often noticed this. A lot of them are active in sending emails on a Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon. I've noticed this for a lot of Americans. Sunday afternoon or evening is a time to prepare for Monday. So they don't really finish their entire weekend. Weekend for them is Friday afternoon or Friday night up until Sunday morning, which I disagree. You should maximize that. Weekends are sacred. Weekends for me, kulang pa nga eh, bitin. I would wish that we have 3-day weekends, for example. Okay? Of course, the topic for tonight is not just going to be about the theme that we shared. If you have any questions about your colleague, your boss, your job, switching lanes, job interview, quitting, or let's say you feel that you have been abused or maltreated at work, please do raise them. And we're going to find a way to answer your question. We're also going to be crowdsourcing the responses from the other participants. Okay, Catherine says, Salamat Malam from Indonesia. Kiko de la Cruz says, I saw that in Netflix, Emily in Paris. Uy, by the way, before I do another violation on TikTok, I just need to say that I just need to do this. TikTok puts us into a violation mode if we do not talk about what we are selling on the live stream. So, TikTok, this is for you. We are also live selling our best-selling books, available in National Bookstore, available in Fully Booked and Power Books, but they're also available in Lazada and Shopee. And of course, if you're catching this on TikTok, it's in the yellow basket that is part of this live stream. Ayan na. I'm going to repeat this again later on because I want to make sure that the artificial intelligence mechanism of TikTok detects that I am live selling my books. Okay? Kahapon kasi nagka-violation kami. We kept on talking, but we were not doing any live selling because we're not really live selling. No. Okay. Shopee link. Okay. People are asking on Facebook. I'm going to be putting also our link. Here is our link on Shopee, and also for, I'm going to place the link also for Lazada, just so you also capture that. Let me just type that quickly. Okay, there you go. Okay, team, I would love to share. I would love to hear your thoughts. Could you please start typing in the chat box? What are your thoughts about this? Should we criminalize? And what are the ways of implementing this at work? For example, oh, let me answer this by the way. Alpha Donna is asking on Facebook, what is your opinion about a compressed work week? I work in a manufacturing company. Ideally, I would love to have a work week that is Monday to Thursday. Friday is considered a weekend, part of the weekend, or Friday is at least work from home permanently. They did this in Ireland. They also did a study in New Zealand, and again, culture might come into play here. But in both studies across those two countries, productivity did not go down, even if you transformed it into a 4-day week. People rather are happier. People feel that they're more energized. I'm also a big believer of this. A lot of time is wasted when you are expanding too much time for work. When you're compressing everything in 4 days, it forces people to really finish the deadline and accomplish their task because they know that they only have 4 days. It takes away all of the excess fat, if I must say. People having to spend longer time in the pantry, people only logging onto the office at 9 or 10 o'clock when they could be available by 8 o'clock. All those things, I think we can compress that further and we can dedicate more time for Friday because I do think that 2 days in today's hyper-paced world is no longer enough. Yes? Okay. Sige. While people are about to type their thoughts, let me read something now. I'm going to start here with Portugal. Okay. So this is a CNN article published in 2021. And the article says in Portugal, it's now illegal for your boss to call you outside working hours. So the country recently introduced a law that bans employers, that means your boss, from contacting you outside your regular hours, whether it's by phone, by chat, or by email. And it says here that the employer must respect the privacy of the worker. Any violation, it continues, constitutes a serious offense and could result into a fine. Can I get an exclamation mark if that makes sense? By the way. You know, I am a believer that if you make managers and bosses illegal to contact their people after working hours, it's going to change their habits. Now they will make sure that if they need to give you a task, they will say it earlier. They will now write down their schedules ahead of time. They will not think that, oh, you know my team is afraid of me anyway, so even if I tell them something later in the afternoon, they will still do it. So let me forget what I need to do, or let me forget my plan ahead of time. I think a lot of leaders are like that, unfortunately. So when you force them that you cannot contact your people anymore, it will make them more structured in their schedule. They will be mindful of people's schedules. They will also, I think, be more disciplined. Yes, I think that's a good way. I think it fosters better leadership. Joel Reyes in TikTok says, I think the management should also remove work distractions or incentivize work efficiently. I agree. Of course. Your ability to focus and get the job done is dependent on your ability to take out distractions in your environment. Okay, Florence Gregorio is saying this. How can we address if the manager has tasked someone from our team to do personal matters like pick up of his bike, dog food, and others using the company vehicle? What would be the course of action that the employee should do? I think even if you tell this to your manager will disagree because the manager wants to take advantage of it. What I will do is that as long as the manager is not also the business owner, because if it's also the business owner, I don't think you have any chance to change the behavior. He gets to decide. She gets to decide what she wants. But this is something that I will rather report to HR. You cannot do a one-on-one session with your manager and tell them that they're doing something wrong, because they will challenge you and they will take it against you if you do so. So I will report this to someone who is a neutral party and who is someone who can make a decision out of it. After all, this is outside of your work scope. It's also not good for the company because the time that you allocated to buy dog food could have been time allocated for you to sell the products of the company, which benefits the company also. Okay? Corgi. Oh, sige, because I like your name. It's so cute. Sir, this is out of topic, but as a fresh grad, what is my first step? Uh, First step on what? Finding a job? Is that what you mean? I will say that, okay, sige. Quick. This is my bias. If you're looking for a job, try to look for a job from a multinational company that is very generous in training, very generous in mentoring and coaching people, because that will determine your younger years on how you see the world. You will be well taken care of, and you will bring that culture even when you grow older. Okay? Again, I'm speaking from a place of privilege, but if you have an opportunity to choose, please do so. Okay, let's look at some more. I'm going to read one more here. This is from France, way back in 2017. I'm also reading this from CNN. Okay, so French workers have won the right to ignore business emails that arrive after office hours. So a new labor law, and if you're watching Emily in Paris, a lot of times this was featured. A new labor law took effect in 2017, giving employees the right to disconnect from email, from smartphones, and other electronic leashes once their working day has ended. The Ministry of Labor said these measures are designed to ensure respect for rest periods and balance between work and family and personal life. Okay. However, the rule requires companies with 50 or more employees to negotiate the out of office email guidelines with staff. Okay, interesting. This is something that I've always been fascinated with Europe. The culture is just so different when it comes to work-life balance. It's so normal for Europeans to get 30 days off during summer. And they really disconnect. Even the market team or sales team, they do have the it's not something that you feel you should be embarrassed. In Asia, I think when you take more than 5 days of leave, people think that you're no longer committed to your job. Can I get an exclamation mark if you agree? Right? It's as if that you don't like your job when it's something that has been promised to you as part of your contract. If indeed you were given 30 days. Okay. Mark Katiga on TikTok is saying, on regarding the first job, my experience is join a startup for your first job and you will learn a lot. I do agree that when you join a startup, you will end up doing a lot of things, including high impact tasks that perhaps only a senior person can do. But because you're in a startup company and it's very lean, you end up doing very important tasks. My only concern in startup companies, and please, I hope someone proves me wrong because I've yet to meet a company like this. I've noticed that leadership really sucks in startup companies. In most startup companies, the culture is so cutthroat that leaders and managers don't take the time to mentor and coach their people. They always have this mindset that everyone is replaceable. So if you don't step up to the plate, I'm sorry, we're going to kick you out immediately. That's why the attrition rate is always so fast. People don't stay more than 3 or 4 years because they don't think that they're being taken good care of. The salary is high relatively, but the culture of, let's say, learning, the culture of being sent to conferences, the culture of people being mentored and coached one on one, usually these things are absent. Okay? That's what I've noticed. And I will say this, even for the biggest companies, Facebook, Airbnb, Amazon, if you look at a lot of, anyone here is, how do you call this? Anyone here who is a member of Blind? Blind is a social media platform where you can read anonymous tips from people who have worked in the tech industry. And it's such a gold mine of people sharing their experiences of how they have been maltreated by tech companies when they were laid off. Of course, obviously, we have to take it with a grain of salt because not all of them may be factual. Some people may be exaggerating. But the fact that such a platform exists disappoints me because likely this prevails in a lot of organizations. O sabi ni Ayo, wow, I'll find a European job now. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick call out now to the participants. As usual, we're gonna be giving away tickets to our upcoming workshop on September 29 and September 30. And we're going to talk about leadership, boosting your confidence, social media marketing, and email etiquette and business writing at the SMX Convention Center in Fort BJC in SM Aura. We'll be giving away 2 tickets per platform if you get our trivia question right. There's only one catch. You have to share this live stream on your feed. Okay, so we're going to give you a chance to do that now because that's the only way that you can be eligible. If we do not see your name with the word shared, that means that we cannot call you as an eligible winner. Okay. Knit Stigno is asking, I will retire next year and I still need and like to work. Where and what should I explore? Depends. Obviously, look for a job that is aligned to your strengths. I also strongly encourage, if you do have a lot of savings, consider doing entrepreneurship. Online business can also be, it might be something that can kickstart your journey to something that's different from what you've been doing, which can be a source of excitement. Extra challenge usually excites people. Okay, people are finally sharing our live stream. Thank you for doing that, please. Okay, Zarina is asking on TikTok, sir, can I ask, is it possible for the employer to rephrase your resignation letter? I am scared if my employer does that because if they are rephrasing my words, they are probably twisting it to their own advantage. And I will not let them do that because they are putting words into my mouth. They shouldn't. Can I ask Zarina, what exactly did they change in your resignation letter? Please let me know. Send me something in private if you feel that this is something that is too sensitive so I can help you about it. Alpha Donna is saying consultancy is great. That's true. If you already are very senior, you've done a lot of work, why don't you do consultation projects for smaller companies who might benefit from your experience. Okay, another question here on TikTok. Sir, is it really possible to ignore? In the Philippines, is it really possible to ignore the phone call of your manager when in fact, when in fact, okay, is it really, I'm trying to rephrase the question here. Sir, is it really possible to ignore the phone call of your manager when in fact they will always find a way to pin the problem on you? Okay, I'm not finding the question here properly. I'm going to rephrase what you said here. What I think, this is Jokno 432. Jokno 432. What I think you're trying to say here is in the Philippines, the culture is that in order to become a team player, you should give your best, even if it's outside working hours. That in order for you to be called as someone who goes beyond expectations and who exceeds expectations, it has to be beyond office hours. I think that there is a way to strike a middle ground here. For example, and I did this before, I was working in a telco company. I did this before to my manager. I told her, I appreciate that the team works so hard that we go beyond 8 o'clock in the evening, but I'd like you to know that I also want to value and cherish my personal life. I do want to go home to my family and make sure that I spend enough time with them. I think it's already enough that I even go earlier than the time prescribed. So our working hours start at 8, but I'm usually in the office already at 7:30, and I make sure that my manager knows that. So one day I had to tell her it will be great if I can do a hard stop by 7 o'clock in the evening because I do know that work can wait the next day. If there is something that you think I need to accomplish now, please let me know earlier before lunchtime so I can prioritize it versus my other task. That's what I said. Okay? And I'm a this is my experience, but when you raise the family card, it's hard for people to rebut. Can I get an exclamation mark? Do you agree? Mahirap. I mean, I think that no matter how shitty your boss is, if you mention things such as my children, my parents, my siblings, it's usually hard to rebut that. There's always this parang level of kirot. It pinches the hearts of a person and it makes them feel insensitive if they challenge it when you're talking about your family. And you know what's a better way to negotiate? When you mention the word family, don't just mention the family, mention the names of your family members. It makes it more vivid, it makes it more personal. So say something like, Boss, my 8-year-old daughter, Annabelle, is waiting for me. She has an exam for tomorrow. I would love to be there for her. Or say something like, Boss, my 12-year-old son, Christian, is celebrating his birthday this Saturday. And I will appreciate if it's possible that I will be able to shut down and disconnect for that birthday party. I want to be available for my son. I want to make sure that I am there for him on his very special day. Sometimes all it takes is to explain why exactly do you need to disconnect. In fact, ako for me from a standards perspective, mataas na nga yun because it's a Saturday. You're not even supposed to be bothered on a Saturday, right? Okay, Laria124 on TikTok is asking, John, when do you draw the line that you have had enough, that this is something that is a red flag for a company? It's a red flag for me if the work on Saturday does not stop. It happens on a weekly basis. Sometimes Saturday work can really happen once a month during budget season, meaning it only happens for certain months of the year during July, August, and then it stops. It goes back to normal. Maybe that part is forgivable. But if this is something wherein weekend work is so normal that it's something that people expect, it's a red flag for me. I am not going to sustain my life in this company. I'm going to head out. I'm going to find a better job. I'm going to find a better place where I will have my weekend get respected. Okay? Hack Dog on TikTok is asking, should I stay on a big company with lots of benefits but with low salary? It depends. Look at the total. Monetize it, put it into cash, benefit plus salary. If the total amount is bigger still, I'll give an example. You probably have a lower salary, like only 15 or 20,000, but you get a car plan. You get a free car, you get a gas allowance, all these things. You're still earning more relatively. So I go for that. The only thing that I think you should consider is that when you move to a different company, you have to properly explain to the recruiter that you're now comparing your total compensation versus their salary. Kasi baka isipin nila, mababa ang sweldo mo, therefore your sweldo will also be very low because that is the basis for your new salary in the new company. Always look at the total compensation. Kelvin Chan is saying, this is so hard if it's a traditional company. Kudos to those that practice, do culture practice. Tanjiro, come here. Sorry, my dog is crying. I think oh no, it's the other dog. Oh, it's a two dogs now. Okay, let me see if I can show them to you. Sige. Asta, can you come here? Sa bed? Up. Come on, up. Show your face. Up. Come on, up, up, up. Naku, mag-aaway mga to. Oh, see you later na lang. Okay. Um, Joel Reyes, can we get your services so that our staff oh, that's Tanjiro, by the way. He's finally on bed now. Do you see him? Tanji. But my other dog, which is a street dog, is very mad because he's jealous about it. I have to hold him, by the way, because these two guys are fighting. They're still not getting along well. Okay. Kiko de la Cruz saying this. Senior manager positions up to executive positions really need to be flexible, even during weekends, depending on the expectations of the owner or the president of the company. But for mid-management to lower positions, I think they should really have full detachments from work. Just my opinion. This is true. When you have become a senior director, sometimes one way to test your commitment, again, questionable and debatable, is that you're willing to give up even certain parts of your 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. life or your weekends as well. Okay. Ram Rosales is asking on TikTok, is it really illegal to have a part-time job? It's not illegal from a criminal perspective, but it can be a breach of contract. So please check your contract. If it's stated in your contract with your full-time employer that you're not allowed to moonlight or do any other hustle, then that means you have to focus your job only to one master. It's always a case-to-case basis depending on what you have signed up for in your contract. Oscar Antonio on TikTok is asking, what is the average lifespan of an employee nowadays? Depends. I'll give an example. When I met people in Unilab in the Philippines, they were all surprised when I told them that in BPO, 2 to 3 years is the average lifespan of an employee. Because in Unilab, they spend 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Normal for them to take that amount of years. Probably because their company takes good care of them. That's the expectation. So it depends on the industry as well. Okay, Jason Parafina is asking, regarding the topic, what are your thoughts on project-based tasks where communication or feedback sometimes requires urgent feedback beyond office hours? I'm going to backtrack. When you sign up for a new company, when you do your job interview, do your proper research. Because sometimes company expect that if you really want to work for our company, this is how we do things. So when you sign up for this company, we assume that you are ready to take on the habit of responding to emails and SMS and Viber and WhatsApp, even during dinner time. That's how it is. I am against it, but I also practice it. I am guilty of this. I even have moments with my team wherein I will send them an email or SMS at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. But I do have my limitations wherein I will tell them, team, I am sending this message at 9 p.m. I'm sorry to disturb you. You can reply tomorrow, but I'm going to send this now because I might forget the idea. I do something like that. Or if something needs to be sent now, but it can wait for tomorrow, rather than sending it on SMS or Viber, I will send it via email. Why? Emails are less intrusive. Most people do not have notifications for emails in their smartphone, but they have notifications for their Viber or WhatsApp. So it does invade people's privacy if you're going to send it on a messenger. That's what I do. Okay. Nits Alano is asking on Facebook, is asking the staff to sign a non-disclosure agreement legal in the Philippines and that one cannot work in the same line of work for 3 years. It is a practice. If you sign up for it, it means you give your consent and it's allowed. So not illegal, but you can decline. But declining it means that you don't want to work for this company. But non-disclosure agreements are typical because that means that you agree that when you get intelligence or information that are confidential to the secrets of the company's success, you cannot share it with other companies or other people. It's fair enough to impose that also. Okay, I think it's time that we can give away now some prizes. Are you guys cool with this? Can I give away some prizes now to our participants? Folks on TikTok, you might be wondering what are the prizes. So this is, I'm going to show this one. This is the roster of prizes, all the 4 talks that are available in our website: public speaking, business writing, leadership, and social media marketing. You can read the modules and review what exactly are the topics. Folks on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you can see that here, happening on September 29 and September 30. So all you need to do, okay, all you need to do is to answer my question. It's a trivia question. And the first 2 people on each platform who can answer my question is going to win. Are you guys ready? Yes. Can I get a letter R as in ready in the chat box if you guys are ready? Yes. Don't forget, the only folks who are eligible to join our contest are folks who have shared this live stream on their feed. So please make sure that you have shared this on your feed. Ouch. Asta. Oh yes, I named the street dog Asta from Black Clover, by the way. Okay, so if you guys are ready, what is the category for tonight? I think the category is gonna be pwede bang ano ba pwedeng category? Sorry, I'm trying to ask a question on the fly here. Sige, pwede bang Philippine history? Can we do Philippine history? Yes. Pwede, no? Yes. Oh, sige. History is one of my favorite subjects when I was in high school. I'm obsessed with, Spanish Filipino colonial history. So I'm going to be asking a question based on that. So my question is this: during the Spanish era of colonization, what is the term that they give to the Chinese, specifically the Chinese businessmen who are in the Philippines? And a lot of these were people who are in Intramuros and also are in Binondo, for example. So the first 2 people who get this right on TikTok, the first 2 on Facebook, the first 2 on LinkedIn, the first 2 on YouTube are going to win our prizes. You get to win all tickets to the 4 workshops and you get to bring a +1 with you. Okay? Sabi ni Jovel Tico, hindi. Pagkain yon. Okay? I'm gonna give you a clue. It starts with letter S. It starts with letter S. It's not Chino. It's not Chinoy. It starts with letter S. Okay? I'm seeing some correct answers now in the chat box. That's very good. Hindi po siya Shanghai, ha? So, I am gonna call out the winners now. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is Sangley. 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 Okay? So, hindi rin po siomay. Sabi ni Robert, siomay daw. So, let's capture the winners now. Let's look first on TikTok. Let me call out the first 2 winners. My winners are Ronnie Math VA. Congratulations. Ronnie Math VA. Second winner is Paige Loria. Congratulations. Paige Loria. Okay? Now, I'm going to call out the winners on Facebook and also on LinkedIn and Twitter. First winner, YouTube, is Aubrey. Congratulations, Aubrey. Second winner, Facebook, si 𝗧cie_𝗱𝗆𝘆. Congratulations, 𝗧cie_𝗱𝗆𝘆. My next winner from Facebook is 𝗧cie_𝗱𝘆_'Espejo. Congratulations, 𝗧cie_𝗱𝘆_Espejo. And then next winner on YouTube is Christina Magat. Christina Magat. And then last two winners. Let's look for winners on LinkedIn. Diana C on LinkedIn. Diana C on LinkedIn. And finally, Clarita Tungol also on LinkedIn. Now, folks on TikTok, how do you claim your prize? I'm showing it now on the screen. Please capture your prize by going to this portal, johnyabut.com/free. And then johnyabut.com/free. And then for those that are on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, I am typing it now in the chat box. Please go to this portal also, which I am indicating now in the chat box. Please go to that portal. We need to get your email address so we can get your details. Okay? All good? Can I get an exclamation mark? Let's congratulate our winners, please. Let's do that. And we hope we get to see you again September 29, September 30. I know it's still far away. It's 1 month from now, but time flies so fast. All the winners will be able to get a +1. You get to bring a +1 with you, and we're allowing that because we want you to be motivated to attend. Sometimes it's hard to just go alone. So we're doing that. By the way, Tanjiro is still here. Okay, let's continue our discussion. We're still in the same topic. Should we make weekend work and after office work illegal? And what are your tips on how can we make our managers and bosses make sure that they do not eat up so much of our personal lives, even if we want to give our best? Okay. People are asking how much is the ticket otherwise. The ticket is 1,299 pesos. The workshop is for 3 hours. By the way, also, again, so that hindi kayo magkaroon ng violation sa TikTok, our best-selling books are available during the workshop. The book is for 399 pesos, and then you can get all of them with a 250 peso discount for only 1,350. That's also exclusive in our workshops if you attend, but you can also, of course, go to Lazada, go to Shopee, or if you're watching this on TikTok, you can catch us in the yellow basket. Okay, Rio Agra on LinkedIn is saying this. What can you say to a colleague who feels entitled to provide harsh feedback on a task performed by a new member, even though that they have no intention of hurting the person? He doesn't know how to give feedback with empathy approach. I do agree. There are certain people who don't know how to say it in a nice way. There are two things I'd like you to consider. Number one, it's always best to praise people publicly and apprehend them in private. Why is that? You want people to know that even if they have points of improvement, you don't want to hurt their feelings and you don't want to hurt their ego. Okay? There is always a way of saying it in a proper manner. We call that, by the way, as radical candor. So, for example, radical candor by Kim Scott is when instead of saying, that idea is BS, that idea is stupid, change your way of speaking into the new formula, appreciate the person, and then reject the person's idea. So say something like, I get your point. However, or say something like, I see where you're coming from, but, or say something like, I understand why you said that, but, and then you challenge the person. This way, you're challenging the idea, not the identity. Can I get an exclamation mark if that makes sense? Yes, that's radical candor. Rio, what this person needs to know is that it's not about what you just say, but also how you say it. So my recommendation is, Rio, please ask this person to attend our leadership workshop. So this person gets to understand that choice of words matter when managing people. Okay, easier said than done. Of course, I was trying to mock you when I said send them to our workshops, but choice of words do matter. This person needs to understand that people do not move just because of what you say, but how you say it. Okay. Kiko de la Cruz is saying, maybe we should lower down first the allowed number of working hours per week, which should equate first for 5 days. I do think that in the Dole memorandum, it's supposed to be 40 hours, which is equal to 8 hours per day. I think that's the allowable time. My dog is wants to go out now. Okay, Mona is asking on TikTok, what are your thoughts on working on a weekend or a holiday and then offsetting it for a regular work day? No extra pay. Hmm. This is against the rule because while you are compensating it by giving them an off day, please take note that the official DOLE regulation is that you have to pay them extra for that work. Okay? I will suggest that you get our lawyer for this. You can also report it to DOLE. Someone is asking, by any chance, have you studied at any school in Silang, Cavite? No, because I grew up and studied all my life in Metro Manila. Would you have sales and marketing workshops in the future, says Jason. We do have marketing workshops on September 29. If you're looking at the screen, Jason, I hope you are. We have Level Up Your Social Media Marketing. Also, the September 30 workshop on boost your confidence and email etiquette are actually best for sales. So we recommend that you also join that. Yes, Emmanuel, my dog is crying because he wants to join. He wants to go out now. We'll do that in a while. We're about to wrap up the conversation anyway. Okay. Someone says we call that as compensatory day off. China, thank you for your gift, by the way. Compensatory day off is cool if there is consent from the employee, meaning the employee says, I am totally fine that rather than paying me in cash, you give me instead an extra day off. But please take note that in the DOLE memorandum, it has to be a cash compensation for holidays that requiring people to work. Same bed sheets. Oh, you know why? These bed sheets are very common because they are IKEA bed sheets. I don't know. I think folks on okay, there you go. I'm trying to show it now to folks also on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. What's the prize for the contest kanina? Says Ron. You get free tickets to our four workshops, all four of them. Okay, let's read. I think we can cover two more questions before we wrap up the conversation. Dina is saying, why do some companies post a salary range, let's say 80 to 1,000, 80,000 to 100,000, but can only offer 70? Is it illegal? Jella, Dion, thank you for the gift, by the way. AZ, also thank you for the gift. Unfortunately, in the Philippines, there aren't any regulations yet about false advertising, and that they don't regulate that specifically for LinkedIn. So while they can get away with this, unfortunately, companies will do it. JP de la Cruz, are you not interested to apply in the government? I too. If you read my first book, my ultimate goal is to serve in public, is to be in the public service. I do want to become a secretary for tourism. I do want to become a senator. Since in high school, I even dedicated a chapter about this in my first book. I do want to serve as the president of the Philippines, but I think I'm still too young for that. I also still not experienced. But my ultimate motivation is if no one can fix EDSA and so many things in the country, I would love to do that. And it doesn't have to be me. I would vouch and vote for someone who I think has the same progressive mind as I do. Okay. Also, I do think I want to fix the corruption in the government. And the very reason why we have a lot of corrupt officials in the government is because they are not paid properly in the first place. If you look at the corporate world, corruption is less rampant because people are well taken care of by their companies. You take away the reason for them to get something out of the resources. Can we invite you for a talk in DSWD? Of course you do. That's what we do for a living. We've also done a lot of workshops for DSWD for other agencies. Okay, I want to cover this question again. This one's on TikTok. Speaking of weekend work. Okay, John, Sir John, is it possible that my work scope is only for weekdays? My boss required me to attend a Saturday work. I did not go because I don't want to. And then when I checked my payroll, it was already deducted. Yes, this is illegal. This is something that you can raise to Dole, or this is something that you can talk to someone in the company and raise if it's happening to everyone in the company. If it's clearly stated in your, and again, you don't need to be a lawyer for you to know this. If this is clearly stipulated in your contract that your work scope is only Monday to Saturday, and you're being forced to work on a Saturday, and you're even being penalized in a sense that they will take away your salary for it, that's illegal. That's forced labor, and that's unnecessary deduction of your compensation. Angelo is asking, can you do a talk for our call center company? We've done a lot for many call center agents. In fact, I think I haven't done this for a while. On Monday, we will be doing it for a contact center agency. My talk on Monday is 7 p.m. until 4 a.m. So I'm getting ready for that. I will get a lot of sleep. So I make sure that I am energized for that workshop. Okay. Ooh. Dina is asking on TikTok, do companies ignore applicants aged 40 and above with experience versus fresh grads without experience? Unfortunately, a lot of companies are still more leaning to the younger ones because their assumption is they got more energy. It also means that they are cheaper. If you are already in your 40s, you probably are going to be demanding for a higher salary. So while this is not discrimination, it is ageism, meaning you prefer people based on their age. What I will recommend is if you're at a certain age, try to look for a company that celebrates people of your same age. Because usually they are the ones who will understand your situation. Plus, maybe sometimes you have to change your expectations. Sometimes you have to change the way you see it, not from the perspective that people are ganging up on you. You see it from the perspective that people are looking after their own interests, and so they prefer the younger ones. And therefore, don't take it personally. Okay. What I will recommend is that if you're starting a new career in your 40s, a lot of options are available if you can become a freelancer, if you can become a consultant, if you can become an online business owner. Granted that it takes a lot of capital for you to do that, but hey, I think you should not block that option from the things that you can do. Okay, gladiators in suits. I think I'm good for the day. I'm going to be thanking you now for being part of our session for tonight. If mabitin kayo, we have lots of other topics that we can discuss, and we have our podcast for you. Our podcast is entitled From Grit to Great, available on Spotify. You can catch it, search my name, Jonathan Yabut, or just type From Grit to Great. We talk about career, we talk about public speaking, we talk about bad bosses, we talk about great bosses. You can catch us there. You can also catch our best-selling books. Oh, ayan. Hindi ako nagkaroon ng violation on TikTok because I am selling our books. You can catch our best-selling books available in National Bookstore and Fully Booked. We are a certified bestseller in National Bookstore. Certified meaning we were able to sell X thousands of copies since 2013. The first book the first book is 10 years old, but remains to be a classic. It has lots of career tips available for you to read even in the post-pandemic world. My latest book is Everything Will Be All Right, which also has a photo of my dog Tanjiro. This is about managing your mental wellness and also your work-life balance. So there. So please do get copies. If you're on TikTok, you can catch them also in the yellow basket. Okay, gladiators in suits, thank you for the energy. Thank you for the time. I will catch you. Maybe I can go online tomorrow, but not after 7 p.m. I do have dinner to catch with some friends because I want to catch up with my social life. Nauubusan na ako ng social life lately. Not that I'm complaining, but I think I can go live. Maybe we'll try 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. I hope you still get to watch us. I know a lot of people are probably going home or commuting that time. But I hope you get to catch us tomorrow. We'll do some more discussions about careers. Thank you. Stay safe, stay dry. Always aspire for a better version of who you are. Thank you. Salamat.